What if I told you there was a way to own assets in Canada without anyone knowing that you own them, without your name showing up anywhere? In this video, we're going to explore the concept of the Bear Trust, how it works, and how real estate investors implement it in their business to achieve big-time success. Stick around to learn how you can safeguard your assets. A Bear Trust separates the concepts of legal and beneficial interests. What does that mean? Well, legal interests are the interests that are shown to the public. Right? So if you buy a house and your name is listed as the buyer on that electronic registration, that's legal ownership. But beneficial ownership is who gets to claim the income earned by that rental property. And most often, these concepts are intertwined. They're one and the same. If I bought a rental property in my name for me and I earn the income, well then I have both legal and beneficial interests. But did you know that you can actually separate these two concepts into distinct entities? If you want to learn more about that, put a comment below or reach out to me and let's have a chat. Many people struggle with scale when it comes to investing in real estate, and others have issues with privacy. The Bear Trust Agreement helps solve both of those issues, either one or simultaneously. Let's get into the first one, scale. If you've bought 5 or 6 rental properties, you've probably run into the mortgage wall where the bank says, we're not going to lend to you anymore. And what the bank thinks is, you've got too many properties, you've hit your limit, they're not willing to give you another mortgage. They're not willing to put more risk in your name. And the Bear Trust helps solve this, because when you're ready to scale and you've run into the mortgage wall, you need to work with joint venture partners typically to be able to continue to grow, right? Because owning half a watermelon, as the saying goes, is better than owning a whole of a grape. And what I mean by that is, if you can't acquire any more properties because the bank won't give you any more financing, and you recruit a joint venture partner to come in and be that title holder to start leveraging their mortgageability, you're going to have to give up some equity in that property. But at least you acquired another half a property, or whatever the split might be, instead of sitting with your existing portfolio unable to scale up anymore. The Bear Trust Agreement is the instrument that grants you beneficial interest in a property. I'll say that again. What does this mean? Well, it means that your JV partner might be the one on title. They might be the one signing the documents and going to the bank asking for a loan. But in the background, the Bear Trust Agreement says that they're doing that for half their benefit and half of yours. And what that means is, if the rental property earns a net income of $1,000 this month, you're entitled to 50% of it, and your JV partner's entitled to 50% of it. So the Bear Trust is a way of helping to scale a portfolio once you've hit the mortgage wall. And you can probably see why it also solves the privacy issue. You see, the registrations of land ownership are public. They're public record. Anyone can search title to a property. Any lender is going to look at a property. A tenant can run a title search to see who the landlord truly is. Here's the deal though. If you don't want your tenants or other entities to know that you own the property, you have to find a way to take yourself off of title. And the Bear Trust Agreement is the way to do it. What it means is appointing a nominee. It could be a corporation, it could be another person, it could be a friend to go on title. And they sign a Bear Trust Agreement that says they're doing that for your benefit. Now, you might pay them a fee, you might do, that part doesn't matter. But the Bear Trust Agreement says, well, yes, you have legal ownership, but the beneficial ownership is all mine. So all that rent that gets earned is actually mine. That also means you've got to pay the mortgage as well, but the privacy concern largely gets solved with the Bear Trust Agreement. Let's talk about a real life way to put the Bear Trust into practice that is creative and solves a big problem when it comes to buying new build condos. Right, so if you're an investor and you're buying new build condos and you put that agreement of purchase and sale in your personal name, but you want to close in a corporation, if you've been in this situation before, you know you've run into a problem for 2 reasons. One is the builder's agreement of purchase and sale is typically quite robust. And most of the time, there are going to be restrictions on changing who the buyer is. There's going to be a restriction on assignment, and they're not going to be willing to do an amendment unless you might pay them a fee or a couple of other hoops to jump through. But largely, builders are unwavering in the terms of the agreement. So if you want to purchase in a corporation, this could be a problem because the documents say your name personally. The second problem is that your lender wants to see the change in name on the agreement in order to be able to lend to the corporation. If the corporation is going to own, then the agreement of purchase and sale should say the corporation, or it should be assigned to the corporation. But if we put these problems together, you know you're in a bit of a bind because the builder's not willing to bend and neither is the lender. And so the Bear Trust Agreement is the perfect solution to this, because of course you could do a double close if you're working with a creative lawyer that knows how to talk to banks. You could say, well, listen, you're going to get good title, you're going to have good security for your mortgage, and the buyer or the title holder is going to be the corporation. But to do a double close, which is what it would take, right, you'd have to buy in a personal name and then sell it to your corporation, you have to pay land transfer tax twice, which if you're buying a new build condo anywhere in Ontario is probably going to be cost prohibitive. So the Bear Trust Agreement is the way around this. What the Bear Trust Agreement does is it says that when you bought as an individual, you bought in trust for the corporation. And then immediately after closing, we transfer title to the beneficiary, being the corporation. Now, if you're keeping score, you realize that the beneficial owner has been the corporation the entire time. It's just that the legal owner was first you, the individual. By doing the second transfer and transferring legal title also to the beneficial owner corporation, we were able to accomplish, or you would be able to accomplish, all of your goals. The corporation owns it, the mortgage is in the corporation's name, the bank's happy, and then you didn't have to deal with the builder. And the beauty of it is, you didn't have to pay land transfer tax twice, because when beneficial owners don't change, land transfer tax is not incurred. There are some interesting tax strategies that Bear Trust can help achieve. So for instance, if you want to earn the income personally, but you want a corporation to be the one that signs the contracts, incurs the liability, you want to take away the ability for anyone in the public to figure out your home address or your personal details, then you might want to close in a corporation in trust for yourself. Now, why would you do this? Well, sometimes we will pay lower tax rates as individuals than a corporation might for what the CRA defines as passive income. And so a Bear Trust Agreement will help you achieve the objective of obtaining liability protection and asset separation or asset siloing. It will also help you achieve the privacy benefits of closing in a corporation. But the Bear Trust, in essence, means that you, the individual, earn the income, which means you might pay a lower tax rate. Now, there are a couple of caveats to this, and I like to make sure that real estate investors are fully apprised, because it doesn't work very well if you want to implement the strategy and at the very last second you can't, which I've seen happen a few times. Sometimes lenders are not too into this strategy, and if they find out, they might not be willing to lend to you anymore. And so you've got to be really careful navigating your deal strategy and your communication with the lender or your mortgage broker. I often encourage people to find out really early on if the lender is going to be okay with this strategy. Sometimes all it takes is really explaining the purpose. But ultimately, the best way to go about this is to start early. So Bear Trust Agreement helps separate legal and beneficial ownership, which can be employed in a number of different ways by real estate investors to accomplish their objectives. Number one, it can help with privacy concerns. This way, you don't have to disclose to the public at large where you live, what your name is. It can help with tax concerns. If you want to separate who earns the income versus who appears on title. It can help with scale, because as you hit the mortgage wall and you need to work with joint venture partners, you also need to make sure that you get to earn that income. And the Bear Trust Agreement helps to do that. And what it is an instrument of title, or of transfer of title. And so at the end, once it's signed, the person who has the legal ownership assigns a portion of that, some percentage, usually 50-50, but it can vary, to a separate beneficial owner. Here are 3 reasons why you want to implement Bear Trust Agreements in your next real estate deal. Number 1, privacy. By buying a property, you disclose a whole bunch of information to the public. But if you don't want your personal address being out for your tenants to find, use a Bear Trust Agreement and close in a different corporation's name while you get to earn the benefit. Number 2, Have you hit the mortgage wall? Are you not able to buy anything else because no bank will lend you anymore because you got too many properties? Well, the Bear Trust Agreement helps you scale by bringing in partners to take on the mortgageability for you, but you still get to own part of or most of the property. So make sure you use a Bear Trust Agreement when you're looking to scale. Third, tax reasons. No one likes paying tax. I don't, you don't. Bear Trust Agreements help us strategize from a tax perspective so that we can save liability for a corporation that only owns a property, but earn the income as an individual where we might pay a lower tax rate, and the Bear Trust Agreement is how we make that happen. And so that's why we use Bear Trust as real estate investors and why you should consider using it too. Thanks for joining me at my fireside chat. Reach out to me if you want to chat more about how you can make use of Bear Trust in your investment portfolio. If you like that video, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, maybe leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. Let's have a chat, and make sure you tune in to the next video. And remember, freedom is within your reach when your foundation is strong.